Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today I'm going to present you my October TBR so you will know what I'm going to read over the next couple of weeks. First off, I like to talk about 3 books that I already started in September and will continue and finish in October. The first is Battle Royale by Kochun Takami. I actually wanted to read this as a buddy read in September, already started it. I'm not that far into it and I like to finish it. It's the book that inspired like the Hunger Games. It has a very similar setting. Japanese students who are put on an island and have to fight each other to the death. It's not normally something I would read because it's not that much fantasy or science fiction or steampunk, but it sounded interesting and I wanted to know what it's about, so I'm going to finish it this month. The second one I started but didn't finish so far is Magic, the first in the Septimus Heap series. It's a book I'm reading for my ebook challenge in my German group. It's, I think, a typical middle grade book on the path of Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, but the story plays in a secondary world. It's about kind of a magician's daughter who's a princess. I already started it, but I'm not very far into it. It seems to be like more of a light read, so I hopefully can finish this very quickly. The third book I'm reading is a buddy read. October seems to shape up to be a month I'm doing some buddy reads, or a lot of buddy reads actually, with other booktubers. That's what I'm very excited about. And the first one would be the buddy read for 12 by Jasper Kent. I'm reading this together with Terry from Miss Terrible or Terry Talks Books. It's a very interesting setting. It's in the Napoleonic era. It's set in Russia, and Napoleon attacks Russia, and we're seeing the book from the eyes of a Russian officer who is kind of like in covert ops, and he and his friends recruit these strange mercenaries from Romania, and they seem to be kind of supernatural creatures, vampires, and the novel is a bit about of them finding out about this and how the Russians handle this kind of knowledge and what happens. I'm like 40% through with it. So far I'm really liking it. It seems to be on a 4-star course at the moment. The setting is very unique and intriguing, so it's definitely worth a try, I think. The next 3 books are books I got as ARC copies from NetGalley, and all the books will be published this month, and I try to bring reviews to you very close to the actual release date of the books, so you maybe have something where you say, I heard about it and I want to pick it up right away. 2 of the books I already thought I would be reading in September, but that then didn't happen. The first book of this ARC copies is Of Thunder and Bone by Chris Evans. It's a mashup of fantasy and the Vietnam War. Not that the Vietnam War actually plays a role, but the themes are really the same, like fighting in a jungle against a foe that you can't really see. A lot of drug abuse with the soldiers, stuff like that. So in tone, it's a bit like a Vietnam War setting, but in a fantasy. And that sounded unique and interesting, and it comes out October 14th, I think. So this will be one of the books I'm trying to read early in the month. The second book is another one that I'm going to show. It will be out October 25th, I think. It's A City Stained Red by Sam Sykes. It's about a, I would say, religious conflict that is settled in a city, the name-giving city of the book, I think. And Sam Sykes is a very interesting author. He's on Twitter he's very humorous. I like following him, like reading like tweets by him, and the humor seems to be something that is also reflected in his novels. So yeah, I'm really eager to find out how I like his novels. And the last one is Retribution by Mark Sharon Newton. It's the second book in his Dragonfelt series, and Dragonfelt is actually an investigator, and yeah, it's kind of, as I understand the series, it's murder mysteries, but set in a fantasy setting. And that is something that is really interesting, because I read one novel by Mark Sharon Newton so far, and it's the first one in his fantasy series, The Knights of William Moore. Yeah, this is the title of the book. I'm not sure what the series is called at the moment. But he, in this fantasy series I read, or in this epic fantasy series I read, he has one character who's also an investigator, and his plot line is one of the more interesting ones in the book. And so I'm really interested in seeing what Mark Sharon Newton does when he just has this one investigator as the main character. I think it's not the same character, and I think it's different worlds, but yeah, I think he does the theme really well. And if you really paid attention to what I said, is that I'm reading a second book that I got as an art copy, but the only other book I read by Mark Sharon Newton is from another series. So of course the first one, Dragonfelt, is a book that I actually own and haven't read yet, so I'm trying to read this as well before the novel, or before Retribution, and before Retribution comes out. So Dragonfelt will also be a novel I'm reading or trying to read very early in the month. And to round this up, I have like 3 buddy reads remaining. The first one is kind of the not really group read, but it's one of the huge buddy reads that the BookTube Reading Buddies group is doing this month. It's Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I didn't read a blurb, I just knew it's a horror novel. I'm reading this, of course, it's Halloween month, so yeah, I'm going into it blind, and a lot of people from the BookTube Reading Buddies group are going to take part in this buddy read, and yeah, I'm just really excited about to see how that goes. But as I've mentioned, I have a lot of books that are mainly placed in the first half of the month, so I think I'm only going to be able to start this very late in the month, closer to Halloween itself. The next buddy read is something I'm really looking forward to. It's a buddy read with Samantha from Novels and Nonsense. We're going to read The King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence together. We both read the first book, Prince of Thorns, and really enjoyed it. And yeah, we both wanted to continue with the series, and I'm really looking forward to it, because many people say that the second and third book are way better even than the first one, and the first one I rated 4 stars. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. And we're following the story of, yeah, Jörg, I would call him. He's spelled like J-O-R-G, which I would basically maybe, yeah, call York, like the English city, but the setting of the world is like a post-apocalyptic Europe, very, very far in the future, but that goes back to the Dark Ages. And the main setting seems to be more Central Europe, more like Germany, maybe Poland, or the Czech or former Czech Republic. So we actually have a name which is called Jörg, and it is spelled J-Ö, one of the famous German umlauts, RG. And if you listen to the sound of it, Jörg, and the character is more like an anti-hero, or not even a hero, it's a straight up villain, and Jörg is very close to Jerk. And I think that is what the author tried to do, so in my head I always call him by the German name Jörg. And last but not least, I'm doing a buddy read with Ness from Wonderness, and it's Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. It's a book, or it's a bind-up of his first two Riera, is it Chronicles? No, Revelations series. So this were like 6, no, not short stories, 6 novellas, I think, in the beginning, and they are now bound up. He published them as an indie author, and then he got like a contract, and they were republished in a trilogy, and each trilogy contains 2 of these original novellas. And when I got my Kindle first, he was just like an indie author there, and I got the first 2 stories that are now Theft of Swords for like, I don't know, 89 cents or something, really, really cheap. And yeah, so I'm technically reading this 2 novellas, but I'm going to count it as one book, because yeah, now the Theft of Swords book is kind of established. And I'm really looking forward, because many of my friends on Goodreads like this series, and of course again, Samantha from Novels and Nonsense is a huge fan, and she has a very good taste in classical fantasy stories, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to read it and then have an opinion of my own about Michael J. Sullivan. So, this TBR is quite ambitious again. I'm not sure if I will manage to finish all of these books, but I hope so. Yeah. What are you going to read in October? Will your October be more spooky or Halloween themed than mine? Please tell me in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to know what's coming up on my channel, please look inside the description box. There's a little segment there called On the Horizon. I wish you a good day and hope you will get bitten by a really good book too. Bye.